Hey, this is Pat, and today we are checking out the all-new Dainese X-Ride 2 Ergo-Tek Gloves. Now, the X-Ride 2 Ergo-Tek Gloves from Dainese are going to be aimed at sport riders out there and commuters that are looking for a great summer option to get as much air flowing through the gloves as possible while still not compromising on the overall protection. The X-Ride has been a very popular set of gloves within Dainese's line, and 2024 is bringing an update in some key areas as well as some updated airflow materials that I really like that they're adding into the mix, and I really dig some of the new colorways they're coming out with as well. But let's talk about some of the facts before I get too long-winded on all the details and construction. They're $180, which is about $30 down from what they were previously at, and they come in sizes ranging from extra small up to 3 extra large with 3 colorways currently available. Now, I measure my hands, the circumference right about an 8.75, and I usually fit a large in almost everything across the board, and these larges in the X-Ride are no exception. This would be my go-to. Really comfortable right out of the gate. The one thing I will say is the cuff is pretty tight, so make sure that you're getting through that area just to get them on when you're trying to test out the fit, because you don't want to base it off the cuff. You want to base it on how it's fitting while you're actually using the bike. But let's talk about the overall main construction. So it's going to be a mix of goat leather throughout with this 3D double layer mesh on the back of the hands and some key zones with the Amica suede palm that we've seen on a few different short and mid cuff ranges from Dainese. So I do like the overall main construction of it, but one thing I wanted to point out is just how much airflow is going to be going through this. You can see the perforated leather, you can see all the 3D mesh as well as up at the cuff. Just a really solid option when it's coming through to actually get air flowing through on those hotter days out there. But let's start up at the cuff and start breaking this down. You do have a single Velcro cuff entry, and this is going to be more of a mid-cuff design. I typically say short cuff is down closer to the palm landing zone, and then you have a full gauntlet going obviously higher. These are going to be more of a mid-cuff design, but I like that they're using a single Velcro, and if you notice, it actually has a piece of elastic so it pulls at the back of the hand to really make sure you're securing it down. But again, it's going to be tight, so just make sure you're pushing past that point if you are trying them on for the first time. Double layer mesh at the back with a Dainese TPR logo up top, and then you have a big swath of leather at the back with a design almost looks like an A from the side, which is an interesting style, embossed on the back there with the Ergo-Tek knuckle. And I mentioned Ergo-Tek, that's this knuckle right across here. It just means that it's 3 different plates that have a little bit more malleability from side to side since they are 3 individuals, but it's protecting the knuckle exactly where Dainese wanted it to be, and that is something they've used for a few years. The Ergo-Tek knuckle is not new, it's just something they trade from different models, move it over to different styles in their line, but I do dig it. I think it's really comfortable on the hand, especially for all day riding. Pair that with the accordion leather right behind it and the perf leather and the foam underneath that knuckle, and it makes it really comfortable, again, for airflow, for movement, and for the overall protection should you go down. More of that mesh across the base of all the fingers, as well as a little bit of perforated leather with some reflective at the trigger fingers. And one thing I want to point out is the index finger as well as the thumb, they are leather backed and leather, so it is going to be touch tech. You're actually getting that right through the goat leather, which is a nice update. We've seen Dainese adding more touch tech into their line, so I really dig that they're adding it in here. Looking at the outer side, they do have DCP on the outer pinky, a little bit of TPU spread out amongst the leather, as well as a full leather down the outer seam. So should you go down, hit the deck, you are going to be able to have that extra protection and slide that you really want, because that's a very vulnerable area should you go down. One thing I want to point out is it's a mixture of leather at the thumb, the crook of the thumb and the palm, as well as across the reinforcement for the palm grip zone. And then it's going to be Amica suede throughout. Now, I've had a few Dainese gloves in the past that are Amica suede. When they do it for the entire cuff, it gets a little bit where we'll get some holes in it, because when you're grabbing the Velcro and opening it with the other gloved hand, it can tear through it. So I like that they're reinforcing all the grab areas and more of the key zones with that goat leather. It's just going to be a little bit better for longevity, even though you're still getting the comfort of the Amica suede in other areas. You got a honeycomb palm slider down here with a little bit of foam. Again, just like the outer side of the palm, it's going to help you hit the deck and have your hands slide. just so when you put your hands down, which is a natural reaction, it's not going to grab your hands and snap both of your wrists. That's going to help it slide in the event of an accident. So I really dig that. Combine that with the Touch Tech, all the airflow, the Amica suede, as well as the reinforcements for abrasion with the goat leather. And I think the X-Rides are doing a lot and punching a lot higher above their weight than the $180 price point would make you think. So if you have any other questions on these, or if you're looking for other gloves within Dainese's line, you have any other questions, click the info button at the top of the page. that's going to take you over to our product page where you can read other rider reviews and see what other riders are saying about the new X-Ride 2. So if you still have questions after that, or if you have questions on the overall fit, reach out to our customer service team. They're all riders, happy to help you get set up for your next ride. I want to thank you for joining me in checking out the all-new Dainese X-Ride 2 Ergo-Tek gloves. I'm Pat, and I'll see you in the next video.